Hey, what's up, party people? Welcome to an Australia Commentaries live from our bedroom / workspaces for Hocus Pocus. Yes, that's right. The studio is being used for what Ryan calls a real shoot at the moment.
Wow.
Fine, cool, chill. Also, he got a little puppy who he says won't stop pooping. So we're doing the show from home today. Yes, let's dox your dog. There it is.
Yes, I love a good dog dox. I want to cuddle.
That's a good one. So keep the comments coming in the chat. And there he or she is now. That's so sweet.
Live looks at Ryan's puppy.
That's so much.
Keep the name suggestions coming in the chat. I will select one that will be the name of his dog moving forward. Right now we're talking about Hocus Pocus 1, a movie that has been lost to the fog of my memory because I've also watched Hocus Pocus 2 since then, and the thing we're doing for next week, which you'll get teased with. So we should watch the honest trailer, and maybe that'll jog my memory, and we'll start and stop and talk about Hocus Pocus. And then we're going to do deleted scenes, answer comments and questions. Keep them coming in the chat. And then
what's to remember? That's like the witches once got buck teeth. They're sucking children's souls like that guy from Mortal Kombat.
It's insane. I will just say that when I sat down to watch this film, it took me about 20 minutes before I realized that I've seen this multiple times already. Oh, it's this one with the dumb California kid and he moves to Boston Salem and yada yada yada. So let's take a trip down memory lane once again for Hocus Pocus. I'm sure we'll have more to say then.
Partings are all about the sweetness and sorrow, but few things are more delicious than reuniting with your witchy sisters after centuries apart. Still, after leaving Salem behind for over 300 years, I couldn't help but wonder, did we still have the town under our spell? Or was there a chance the old magic was truly gone?
I mean, Hocus Pocus.
So pause. That's our own Emma Fife on the VO. Thank you, Emma.
Did amazing. It sounds great.
Such a good job.
Yeah, she loved it. She was like, "Yes, I can do that." So I think she nailed it. This is a great idea, Lon, to do the Sex and the City intro, and I didn't realize how often she said, "I couldn't help but wonder."
Oh yeah,
that's like her tick.
My very first job having anything to do with the entertainment industry, I did post-production and I did subtitles and closed captioning for Time Warner at that time, DVDs, including Sex and the City. So if you owned Sex and the City on DVD, I made sure the subtitles and captions lined up, which also meant watching every episode of Sex and the City like 4 or 5 times to make sure the timing was right in all the different languages with all the different options. So I've seen, and like that, all that stuff is just embedded in my brain. Like I know Sex and the City better than any human being should.
And just like that, Sex and the City.
Yeah, and so I knew that was the trope going right in. Yeah,
I did that for Entourage, but no one was paying me to do it. I was just a big fan.
We're like,
oh yeah. Did they give you any like creative license? Like you could do, like I know Stranger Things had like the tentacles squelch wetly. Like were you allowed to kind of?
No,
they flourish here and there.
Not really. Like the closed captioning, they basically, I wasn't writing the captions. I was making sure it all like lined up and and I would fix things. I was like editing them. So like Sopranos, they were riddled with errors because James Gandolfini would go off script all the time. Like every time Tony Soprano's looking in the fridge and he's like asking her, all that is just him riffing.
Yeah.
So it wasn't in the script. So those times I would have to edit them and make sure it was right because it was like they didn't have, whoever wrote the subtitles didn't know what words they were. But no, for the most part, I didn't get to
kids, there's all kinds of jobs in the entertainment industry.
Yeah, I've done transcription before, and usually there's like a very strict style guide. I think Netflix is just trying to be like cool mom.
Yeah, that back then there was very little freedom. I was really just putting in the right answer.
Kim Cattrall's bosom heaves buxomly. All right, let's keep going.
Journey to Salem, Massachusetts, a town famous for killing 20 women out of religious paranoia. But it turns out they were 100% right. Not only are witches real, but they are fabulous. In this holiday camp fest that puts the evil in vaudeville and imagines what it would have been like if the Three Stooges made a Halloween special. Wait, they did? A whole bunch of them. Well, what if they were ladies? Oh, wise, Glenn. Why, I oughta...
Yeah, pause. We were
Return
talking about
to the-
this before we started. Well, first of all, does anybody remember the Three Stooges? They're even too old for us, but are people still exposed to? If you stopped a tween and said, "Who are the Three Stooges?" would they know?
Honestly,
go ahead. I'm sorry.
Well, I was going to say, I think that that's one of those things where it's like you're more likely to know them from references made to them through other things. Like if
Sure.
you're watching a cartoon and you'll see like a reference made to them where like, you know, it's almost like with how Goodfeathers was like the first time I knew
Definitely
Goodfellas.
my
Right,
introduction
yeah.
to Goodfellas.
It's
Yeah.
more like that, you know.
Yeah, I feel like when I was a kid, they used to show Three Stooges shorts on TV. There would be like a half-hour block of like Three Stooges. But even that was like when I was a young kid. Like I don't remember that from when I was even like an older child or a teen. So I can't imagine they're still doing that. Like that it's too old now for young people to be
Yeah.
seeing them in their
TV Land,
original
maybe?
form.
Yeah.
Right.
I can't
Well,
Even then, I think TV
imagine.
Land is still like, they're like in the 60s. I don't think
Yeah,
they're
like
even going
right.
back
TV
that
Land
far.
at this point, they're showing Perfect Strangers, like it's Family
No,
Matters on
don't
TV
do
Land.
Well,
that.
first of all, you can watch every you can watch every
True, that's
one
true,
of them
guys.
on YouTube. But also there was that reboot, wasn't there? I'm just remembering. Was it Larry
Well, there was a
David?
movie,
Or no,
not
Fairly
long
Brothers.
ago. Yeah,
Yeah, with like Will Sasso and stuff like
Yes.
that.
Why did I think it was what's his name? Okay, I'm glad you said Will Sasso because I was about to incredibly embarrass myself.
Underrated. I mean, the movie's bad, but underrated comedy actor Will Sasso. Very
Oh,
funny.
for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, the guys
I
in
love
it
his
do
Stone
a
Cold.
good job of approximating Larry, Moe, and Curly. I just like you can't. Come on, what are you gonna do? You can't do the
Yeah.
Three Stooges movie now. But
Well,
I mean, you
I
can
really thought it was
make them-
chickless. I was seriously going to say it was chickless. Thank you
That
for
works,
saying
that works.
You'd watch it. Watch
In
it.
the Thing costume, like having to wear the old.
Yeah. But I mean, this is, I guess, how you do a Three Stooges movie today. You sort of like reinvent it and put
Mhm.
them in and context.
Make them all
somehow.
superheroes.
They're witches now.
But yeah, they've got powers. All right.
I also hate this part. I will just say I really don't like the Salem witch trial trope comes up so much, and it would be so easy to just write witches are real without specifically being like Salem witches were real, because then you're siding with like great historical monsters. Like we shouldn't make movies about how the Puritans were like right on and their views about like women and women.
Let's hear them out.
Guys, you got to hear both
No.
sides.
No, they were just wrong. Like we shouldn't. It's weird to make a movie be like, hang on, like no, they were just wrong.
Well, when the crops fail, who do you think did it? God or the women?
You could just maybe there were Colorado witches. They don't always have to be in Salem. That's all I'm saying.
I've been to Salem. They still really traffic in that.
They love it.
You'd have to, right?
Yeah,
They love
I've
it,
been
folks.
to Salem too, and they love it there. And like, at least they get the excuse of like, well, this is where it really happened. We're just talking about the history. We're not celebrating. We're just letting you know.
Yeah.
Look, a bunch of teenage girls were murdered for no good reason. But
Yeah.
But to keep like every movie about it, like even the autopsy of Jane Doe ties in. Like, there's so many horror movies and things that tie in, and it's like you could do witches without them being Salem.
That's
It's
right.
okay.
All right, keep going.
My
Return to
little
the
way.
early 90s, a time when other much better Halloween movies were happening,
I am the Pumpkin King!
and
Same
other
here.
much worse ones.
Get away from me!
How dare you? How
And meet
dare
the
you.
Sanderson sisters. There's Winifred, played by the legendary Bette Midler's two front teeth. Sarah, played by Sarah Jessica Parker's vagina.
Would thou dance with me? Hang him on a hook and let me play with him? No! Boys will love me! I'll be thy friend. Who are they? Boys?
Oh, and Mary.
Pause.
She's like their dog.
I was not a big Sex and the City fan, though. Granted, I'd probably have seen 2 or 3 of them. But An SJP classic that I do love is Girls Just Want to Have Fun.
Sure.
With her and
Oh,
Helen
yeah.
Hunt.
Yeah,
That is a good 80s
yeah.
movie. That is just peak SJP to me.
She's also very funny in L.A. Story, that classic Steve Martin comedy
I
where
haven't
she
seen that.
plays his like flighty, ditzy California girlfriend.
Right. I got to rewatch that. It's been a long time.
That's what I saw. I think I knew her from that before like anything else, and everything else for me, she was like, oh, the one from L.A. Story.
Right. So yeah, there you go. Girls Just Want to Have Fun in L.A. Story for you, Sarah Jessica Parker completionists.
Yeah. For you,
Was she in
heads
Square
out
Pegs?
there.
Is that something? Was she Square Peg?
I haven't seen Square Peg.
It was like a awkward girl 80s television show.
Okay.
That I saw.
You might be right about that. Hang on. I remember that show,
bother
but
me.
not.
Yeah, this
if
is
it-
important. Let's just go through her IMDb for the rest of the show.
I mean, I will.
It's important.
Yes.
You're right. That was her. She was Patty Green on Square Pegs. Correct.
Yeah.
Well done,
So watching her become like Sarah Jessica Parker hot lady from like where she started was always like, oh, okay, I guess she's doing the hot lady thing now. They remembered that she's attractive because she's an actress.
Right. It happens.
Yeah.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah.
I got to watch Dudley Do Right. Missed that one. All right, let's keep going.
Hog or something? 300 years after being lynched by Salemites, they've got a plan to get their groove back by killing all of the town's children. Go off, Queens, in this classic tale that will be remembered as one of the darkest films in Disney history.
This'll teach you to call people ugly.
If it weren't already one of the most horny films in Disney history.
Max likes her yabos. In fact, he loves them.
I mean, seriously, it's
Has
upsetting.
we lived through the 90s. Have you ever heard anyone call them yabos? Because that was new to me.
I was wondering if that was like Salem specific slang, or because
Are you from Salem?
The dedication
yabos.
to regional accuracy in this film off the charts. Ortega spent 6 months embedded in Salem, just getting all the local flavor and
Look,
slang.
some people say soda, some people say pop, some people say boob, some people say yabos. I don't know.
I think it's a like 30-something screenwriter trying to come up with a funny thing a teen might call.
It sounds like something like Barney Rubble says to his wife.
I don't ever recall.
Yabos. Let me see the yabos.
I don't. It's like a Homestar character. I don't recall ever hearing a peer use the term yabba. I feel like exclusively like a Catskills comedian.
They're so horny. They're inventing new slang on the fly. Let's hear the rest of it. Keep playing.
With this 15-year-old boy's virginity.
My brother's a virgin.
Are you a virgin? Yeah. Really?
And he's a virgin.
Don't talk to the cops.
A virgin. Lit the candle.
A virgin will summon us from under the ground.
Lit by a virgin on Halloween night.
Some airhead virgin might light that candle.
Brave little virgin who lit the candle.
I had to wait 300 years for a virgin to light a candle.
I mean, everyone in this film is horny.
To convey gorgeous creatures such as yourselves to your most forbidden desires.
You think that's not
a
an
nice
Eyes Wide Shut
Boston
party
area
going
accent?
back there?
Yeah, everyone's super
This
horny.
married couple is played by a real brother and sister. I'm telling you, man, this film is for freaks.
Yeah, pause. That
Watch
was the
these-
big takeaway. Well, no, there are two big takeaways. One is how horny it is, and two is how much time we spend talking and just being with Max trying to get laid. Like that's largely the movie, and occasionally some witches pop out and do Three Stooges shtick.
Yeah, and his sister both being a terrible wing woman and the best C blocker you've ever seen at the same time. Danny, I didn't realize this because I was a kid and I was probably precocious. Danny is the most annoying child character I think I've seen in a really long time. Like I know that they're going for precocious and sassy, but they hit all the way to obnoxious. And I don't know if they
it's a testament to Thora Birch that you didn't instantly hate her. But that was just like a trope back then, is the really annoying little sibling that was always just getting in the way.
I think both the Hocus Pocuses at this point, I think we could say kind of suffer from this problem of the draw is the Sandersons, our witches, Bette Midler and Sarah Jessica Parker, Kathy DeJuy. They're the stars of the movie. But due to both the way that the story works, because they're the villains, and the fact that they don't want to be on set the whole time, we spend a lot of our time following these other characters. I don't think either time they've done a good job of making us want to invest that time in the side characters. Like both movies, you kind of feel like the Poochie rules. Like whenever Winifred's not on screen, all the other characters are kind of like, "Where's Winifred?
Where's
like,
Winifred?"
They're the energy of the movie, and when they leave, the movie slows down to a halt. And I think it happens both times.
It's like sub Scooby-Doo level kids solving occult mysteries.
And I don't think this is a knock on Omri Katz or Thora Birch or the young cast. They're doing what they can. It's just the material's really thin, and there's not that much for them to do. They run around, and they've got to figure out a pretty easy to figure out scenario, and it's really just about a virgin, and everything is about being a virgin. And once you've had sex, magic doesn't work anymore in this universe, and there it is.
Yeah, it's a lot of a lot of interesting messages that you don't pick up.
I guess it is. Yeah, it really does side with the Puritans. Once you have sex,
it's like
magic's gone.
What? Sex? Yes, dirty. Avoid it.
All right, keep playing.
3 golden ghouls do battle against 3 neighborhood children, who you unfortunately have to watch as punishment.
I want to go home.
Well, this is your home now, so get used to it.
Until the movie gets back to the witches.
Did you miss me too?
Armed with the power of the Necronomicon knockoff, these sisters will throw around obscure curses.
Twist the bones and bend the back.
And also obscure curses.
All right, you little trolley mob. His punishment must be more fulsome. Purloined. Curses.
While still getting repeatedly beat down by small children.
A child. Oh, she bit me.
In a Halloween movie that's never particularly scary, except when they run over a cat.
Whoa, speed bump.
Aw, dude.
That was intense.
That's fine.
I hate it when that happens.
But that won't stop everyone from screaming at the top of their lungs all the time.
Hey!
Okay. That's enough. Done it?
I am cow.
Could you please wrap it up? Nope, still screaming? I'll just go wait in the car.
Pause.
So before you check out...
Yeah, they really, as you pointed out, they commit to the bit so much that they're screaming even as disembodied green smoke coming out of a chimney. Still screaming.
Wafting over the town, and they still put in voiceover of them just screaming at the top of their lungs.
My only guess is like they started putting in the screams when they were just like, look, we have exhausted the thesaurus. It's got nothing left for us. Like now we just have to start resorting to scream.
I think it's more like this is on the Disney Channel. We have to compete with like commercials for push pops and stuff like that. We just need to make as much noise as possible so kids don't turn away from the television.
Hey, look over here. Look over here at these yabos.
Yeah.
That does feel just like, that became like the go-to. Like, all right, when the bit's not working or you need to inject a little energy into it, you
scream it up. Yeah. Always be screaming. Okay.
ABS.
ABS, obviously screaming.
All right, keep going.
So before you check out the sequel on Disney Plus that spends so much time in a Walgreens, you'll swear it's an extended Super Bowl ad. Take a trip down memory lane, where studios put comedy films in real theaters, shot on real locations, with real song and dance numbers, instead of throwing Bette Midler in front of a green screen to fill the Disney Plus content quota for Q3.
I'm tired, Winnie.
Whatever, good enough. Next.
Oh, pause. Yeah,
Starring-
seriously, the Hocus Pocus 2, where it was just, comedy sequels are hard because jokes aren't funny the second time you do them. But That didn't stop him from trying. She had a vacuum cleaner this time. Now she's got a Roomba. Escalation.
That's like the best. Honestly, the Roomba bit is probably the best bit in the second movie.
Yeah.
It was one of those ones where I had to realize, like, you go back and you watch it, you're like, oh, I liked this because I was a child and my brain had not developed yet. And that's why this really, because that's who they were making.
It's a real Space Jam.
Yes, it's a real, it's a Space Jam of an Airbud. And so, like, watching the second one, I was like, right, remember this.
Right.
It's not for you. It's not for you. It should be for me because kids don't care, but it's not for me. That's
Yeah, I will say, watching the back-to-back, the one thing is, and we put it in the trailer, is like, you do notice that the first one, like, they're on sets and it's all practical and it feels like it's still a movie. It's a dumb throwaway comedy. It's really campy. The writing is very silly, but it's still filmed and made like a movie.
Like a movie? Like a movie?
Like a picture movie.
It feels like a movie
Film
you
movie.
can see on a screen in a theater with like popcorn and a soda because it's a movie. Right. But the new one, it has that sheen, that flatness that we always talk about.
The digital sheen, overlit, shot, reverse shot.
Kind of doesn't really feel like a real movie. It kind of just feels like a TV special or, whatever, like a super. The Walgreens stuff feels like a Super Bowl ad, literally.
Oh, they must be in there 15, 20 minutes for.
Yeah, it's such a long sequence and it doesn't move anything forward at all. And it really.
But lotion rhymes with potion, you guys.
Really just feels like they wanted a check from Walgreens to offset the cost of making this. And like, I get
She's
it.
like, you're Disney. You don't need to do this.
Yeah, like we're
stand up. Stand up, Disney. You don't have to do this.
I'm really desperate.
All right, keep going.
The First Wives Coven, Hex in the City, Sister Act, Smack in the Habit, Virgin General, Thora Sprout, Girl Next Door, Persona Non Grata, Jay and Violet Bob, and his name is Billy Butcher, just like mine. Are you having a laugh? Diabolical. The Schlocky Horror Picture Show.
Let me out of here, man. Come on, Taylor, let's go.
Wow, Max really leaves his boys behind to die? Look, man, I know they took your shoes and all, but what are you gonna say to their parents at the funeral?
Yeah, that was cold-blooded. They're gonna get eaten by witches, as far as he knows. As far
as the eating thing goes, this does bother me. They make jokes. They're acting like they're cannibal, like straight up. I'm gonna eat a baby. I'm gonna devour you. We're gonna bake you into like they're making specific food cannibal jokes, but that they're not really eating children. They're turning them into vapor and sucking up their souls.
They're vaping the children.
They're vaping
kids.
the children.
Vape
They're blowing sick child clouds, maybe, but I don't think you should make Hannibal Lecter straight up. I'd love to have you for supper, unless you're actually eating a person.
Yeah, it should. Exactly.
I think
I hope someone got fired for that blunder.
Yeah, they became cannibals just for the jokes, and I'm offended.
Yeah. Something we didn't show in this honest trailer because it's at the comments section is we got the voice of Thackeray, Jason Marsden, to read your comments. So please watch until the end, the very end, and you'll hear him read like Meow Mix and.
Hey, look, that sealed it for me. I wasn't sure which cat I was into. It was between him and Salem from Sabrina the Teenage Witch, the sitcom one, and now I'm fully Team Thackeray.
What was the obsession?
Spooky time. Very spooky.
Not even spooky witches. They were blasphemous witches.
Yeah, that's right.
Totally different.
Please like and subscribe as I scroll through the rest of the script. And we do have some outtakes and some really good questions coming up. So let's watch the outtakes and see what we didn't put in.
Starring Scary Bradshaw and Just Like Cat, Slippin' a Jimmy, All Hallows Dweeb, Ghost World, Resting Birchface, the cat who was also a boy who was also 300 years old, a couple of massholes, Witches Leave, Forever a Crow,
I love that one.
Twisted Sisters, Spellraiser, Stick or Treat.
Pull over! Let me see your driver's permit.
How does she know what cops say? She didn't know what a bus was 5 minutes ago.
There you go. Well, we missed a huge opportunity for not doing a Peggy Hill joke or Katie and Jimmy. She's the voice of Peggy Hill. Also,
we gotta do a joke about it just because she's the voice.
You have to. You must.
Yes.
Well, I'm surprised it didn't occur to any of us. And then
I think I put one in, but it wasn't good. Like I think I put one in, it just wasn't good.
Yeah, I know that she's the voice of it. She's in Sister Act, back in The Habit, folks.
Yeah.
How is that not the top credit?
Sister Act, Smack and Habit is what we said. And then the other one was
Sister Act, I believe. But,
we did Hex in the City for WandaVision. Whoops. And we also did that for Sarah Jessica Parker. So just replace that with whatever outtake you prefer. Here's a question I know Lon is gonna like. From Trevor Copter, AMA. Who do you think you are saying Ernest Scared Stupid is worse than Hocus Pocus?
Yeah. Oh, I
That's
agree.
a lot of question
100%,
marks, Trevor.
Yeah, 100%. I'm on his side.
I guess I have to rewatch Ernest Scared Stupid. I mean, I think my earliest and most memorable Ernest exposure was Ernest Last Ride. So I think I started with the wrong one.
Oh, you were late. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're younger than me, and I'm assuming our commenter here.
Yeah, I'm a late.
I'm old enough to
Ernest
remember when the
enjoyer.
Vern stuff was like on was like a TV show that would come on.
Yeah, well, there was Hey Vern, It's Ernest,
yeah,
which was the Saturday morning show.
Yep.
But I was on board since like Ernest Goes to Camp, the first one, which I think was 87. So yeah, I was like right there. I was in the perfect Ernest zone. But yeah. I've watched Scared Stupid not that long ago, and I actually do think those Ernest movies hold up not that bad. Like Jim Varney was a very talented physical comedian who also did he was good doing voices and characters. He had a lot of like range. So I feel like it's funny just because it's focused on him and it's a showcase for him. It doesn't have the Hocus Pocus problem of the whole time you're like, where's Ernest? When is Ernest coming back?
Ernest is there.
He's there, yeah.
In every scene.
He carries the movie, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, book it for our next Halloween movie night.
I would love to.
This is an interesting one from Karen Stepko. While working on this Honest trailer, were you at all worried that spells might be cast through your TV screen into your home? I assume this is in reference to somebody on Twitter said something stupid, right?
No, there's that very religious mom who went viral, I believe, in Texas, and she's talking about it's like a satanic movie, and they're doing real spells, and they're gonna mesmerize your children through the Disney Plus connection.
All it wants me to that just makes me want to like install an Alexa or a Google Home in their place and just play that one like McDonald's commercial or Coke commercial or whatever it was, where it would say like, "Hey Google," and it would like make your house like mess up.
Oh yeah, turn the lights on and off.
Yeah. Like that's
thin grasp of sanity as so yeah, that might be what does it. I think that would make me want to watch Hocus Pocus 2 more if it had some effect on me at all.
That's like the same.
Any effect on you?
Any effect?
Just something.
Like Disney also put out a Hellraiser movie on streaming this
That's
week.
right.
You're not worried about that one? Like
That's
somehow
right.
Hocus Pocus is the cause for alarm? Like
Hocus Pocus is going for your kids.
It's hard to imagine a more innocent, like harmless, campy, dumb movie like to be worried about in that way.
No, it's funny watching their brains break because they cast a lady as Pinhead. So it's like they're so woke casting this like sex demon satanic sadomasochist as a woman now. Like, straight.
Had to do I'm just gonna say Megan Thee Stallion dressed up as Hellraiser, I think last year, and it was the best thing that ever happened to me as Pinhead. Continue and Google when
check
you
that out.
Yeah, you should.
Let's see. Should we talk about Ryan's dog name now? We have some suggestions. Maybe Ryan wants to pick one. The puppy names Reynard City Update channel suggests are Graham, Erling Holland, Police Academy, the series, the puppy.
That's the one I'm going for.
That's
That's the one I'm going for.
Pudding Can, Niblet, Steam Train, Lowestoft, Eisenbark, Kingdom Brunel, or Dog Perignon. I like Dog Perignon, but I think Police Academy, the series, the puppy is my
That's
vote.
it.
I also feel like any name from the Police Academy series works for a dog name. Like a dog named Commandant Lassard would be cool. A dog named Hightower. A dog named Mahoney. Like you can sort of take your pick.
Can you just name a dog?
All good dog names.
Can you name a dog a theme song? Can you just like every time come here?
Yeah, I think you can. I think you can name a dog whatever you want. They will answer. They will come to whatever.
Time for walkies.
You can train them to respond to any verbal command you please, including a theme song. So.
All right, and then we'll close with this. Ryan's probably on his real shoot right now, probably working. We gotta set up the studio for talent. Yeah. Okay. We have James Bond asks, what property do you understand is very important to a younger cohort, but means next to nothing to you?
Oh, there's a lot of these for me. I mean, the two that pop immediately to mind are Pokemon and Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, which when I was a kid, like I distinctly remember I was like, just because my little brother still liked them, but I aged out and we're 4 years apart. So I was like 13, 14, 15 and starting to be like, that stuff's for kids when he was still young enough to get caught up in it.
Yeah.
So those two franchises to this day, like there's tons of now like third wave, fourth wave Pokemon nostalgia, but I missed out. I was always too old.
There is so much, like people online, I feel like every couple of months will like, I'll see a like things you didn't know about the movie Twitches. And I'm like, right, that's a movie you would care about a lot if you were a child when Twitches came out. Like, you know, so those or any of the Disney Channel ones where people would be like, you know, Selena Gomez has been slaying it since, you know, this thing. Or
Wizards of Waverly Place.
Sure. You know, Camp Rock is something that I'm just like that isn't for me and was never for me.
Yeah, I will say that for me as well is anything 2000s and beyond live action Disney Channel. I just, even then I was like, this is bad. This is not for me. I don't need to watch like bad versions of sitcoms when I have, you know, Simpsons, Seinfeld, etc. like playing right next to it. Like, come on, what are you doing watching iCarly? I'm sorry. Even
right,
then.
well,
I was too old for that whole generation as well. Like,
and same for like the Nickelodeon stuff, especially because like I was of that age where that was kind of like the golden era of Nick TV. So it's like going back and watching some of the stuff that was on it after is like, painful.
Are you guys pre or post SpongeBob era at all? Because that
it starts for my generation.
I was already a teenager for SpongeBob.
Yeah, but you watch SpongeBob because it would be like you watch because the thing would be like, oh,
SpongeBob was good.
And watch SpongeBob. Yeah, and SpongeBob was good.
But I mean, it was a thing
though, for real.
It wasn't that there was no way I would have enjoyed SpongeBob. It was that I was like a shitty adolescent where I was like, I'm too old for this stuff. I'm gonna watch action movies, you know? Like I wasn't open to it.
I was because it was like I was obviously a huge like Nicktoons person, but then I feel like they kind of fell off in the late 90s, but SpongeBob was like keeping it alive. So it's like, okay, SpongeBob's a good one, but like I'm not into like the Fairly Odd Parents or whatever.
Yeah, I was
respect the classics.
Honestly,
I was a teenage dirtbag. It was literally just that I would go to my friend's house after school, do knife hits and watch SpongeBob.
There you go.
Yeah,
what a
like the last era for me and like Nickelodeon would have been like Ren and Stimpy, Doug, Rugrats, like that.
Yeah, sure. That's when it all began, and that
right. But that would have been like the last stuff, and then I aged out of that.
SpongeBob kind of
see, that was vintage.
Nicktoons.
That was vintage already.
No, you're not using that word.
The old
vintage.
Right. That was my stuff. Was the like
vintage
Nickelodeon's their first ever original cartoons. Yeah. Before they used to just air reruns of other people's stuff.
Well, I feel like iCarly's one generation later. I will just say, I was in high school and done with it by iCarly. So I would say that's the like Hannah Montana, iCarly. We should do a real video actually tearing these out. Anyways, okay, everyone, good.
Yeah,
let's do it. Let's rank it all. We'll need to ask a youth
Snick
to help
was
us
also
out.
That was my
Snick
Roundhouse. Like those shows. Yeah.
Does anyone remember Wienerville, or was that in my imagination?
No, I remember Wienerville.
I don't.
No, I remember that.
I'm glad Danielle knows what it was. Man,
I remember like Clarissa Explains It All and Roundhouse and like that era. But that was it.
Anyways, this is enough old people reminiscing. Let's come back next week for another comedy that let's say you be the judge on this one. That's your clue for next week. We'll see you then. Thanks so much. Maybe we'll be in studio. Maybe not. Maybe we'll have another real thing going on. Who's to say? Thanks for watching.
I want to meet the puppy.
Yeah, bring the puppy.
In 2 weeks. Puppy will be in studio in 2 weeks once she's all good to go. So yeah, she will be on camera.
Oh, can't wait. All right. Thanks for watching. See ya.
I can't